As the clash between Britain and France continues over the migrant crisis, Macron's government are now blaming the British left-wing charities for helping the people smugglers. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel that challenges the mainstream media and the political establishment, from the left-wing nutters to the globalist elite. And today we are talking about the first story of the day. We're going to come to you guys every half an hour as usual with all the news topics that's been going on inside and outside Britannia. First things first, let's talk about the migrant issue, because we do cover the border crisis almost every day on this channel. But it is fascinating that the political system in general, they are focusing on the practicalities of the problems and everything else about it. You know, the international legislation, the French authorities, the left-wing charities, people smugglers. But we know the actual main problem, the actual root of this whole issue is because of globalism and the European Union's open border policy that causes this issue across the continent. But now, it is interesting to point out that the French are now a little bit furious with the leftist charities, especially Care for Calais, for acting as people smugglers. Now, this is, you might say, this is technically another blame shifting as usual. You know, the Brits blame aspects of the French authorities, the French blame the Home Office and all that. Yes, it is shifting the blame. But I believe the French are a little bit right on this issue. Having said that, they have to find a way to also stop it, because it's literally in their land. The charities that we're talking about, they are operating in Calais. They are helping the illegal migrants in France. So it is a bit obviously more complicated when it comes to British citizens working in Calais. But at the same time, I understand the frustration. So the left-wing charities are funded by the UK government. So this is what Macron is talking about and his government. Now, we're not really trying to justify any actions from the French, because they are also to be blamed. We know that. But in reality, one of the problems with these charities like Care for Calais is that the taxpayer are partly funding it. So maybe we should defund it. Maybe if they are charities, then they can just get donations. Maybe they shouldn't get special privilege and access to these places. Maybe the French and the Home Office could work together to not allow them to be there. I'm not really sure what mechanism they can use, but definitely something must be done, because it is primarily about Care for Calais. And we have a couple of other stories actually today on this channel and about Care for Calais, because some dodgy stuff has been happening with its founder and some of the senior activists, so just stay tuned for that. But volunteers are alleged to have acted as spotters on the French coastline to direct migrants away from beach patrols so that they can launch their dinghies without being intercepted. So basically, Care for Calais activists and these other charities, that they are helping the migrants, saying, okay, if you go that way, you could avoid being spotted by the French police. And the French have raised very strong concerns with our government about British-based NGOs in northern France. They are not really happy about this. They say, this source says, there is constant frustration of the process to stop illegal immigration by migrants who set off from northern France. Okay, now as I said, this is not really to make any justification for Macron's government, because they're also not really, they don't really have the appetite clearly to do their jobs properly. We had to send our own people, border force staff, to go to France to help monitor the situation. So they're not doing their jobs. The border force are not doing their jobs. Home Office policymakers are not doing their jobs. When it comes to the international law, there's no appetite to change it clearly, because we're still waiting. Priti Patel said this back in 2020. Something's going to change. We're still waiting. So the Tory government are to be blamed, but primarily globalism. It's globalism, and it's all the vested interests who are way too happy about people being misplaced and come to the West, and we don't know exactly how to stop it at this point. So we're going to cover this obviously as usual, but we're going to come to you guys every half an hour throughout today. So the best thing you can do, subscribe to the channel and become a member. For those who are a member of the channel, this Sunday we have 2 days to go. We're going to do our weekly Q&As. They are back. Feel free to just submit any questions you have under any video, including this one. I'll answer those questions. And of course, the direct video calls with me Sunday at 8 p.m. I believe. I'll post the link on the community tab. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.